Okay. What is going on, LBHT Crew B? What is going on?
What is going on is we are just over a week away from the beginning of the march to destiny for the Carolina Panthers. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Hey,
Feeling pretty pumped.
I'll tell you what else is going on right out the gate. We got Noah with a donation, a $5 donation. Salute
Thank
to
you,
Noah.
Noah.
Says, who's ready for some football?
That's right, I am.
Appreciate you.
I know
Thank you.
Noah is too, even though Noah had defected to the Detroit Lions. He's still an honorary Panthers fan. So he's going to be riding with us to the Super Bowl this year too.
Hey, I appreciate it. And that came through via the Cash App. We're still working out the animation effects over here, but we're gonna get that straight. In the meantime, you still get the Park Heights strut for Microphone Man right there. Okay, appreciate that. Salute to you. If you want to make another donation, the link is in the chat box. I believe I put it in there. That'll take you to our Streamlabs page, or you can do. There you go. There it is. Yeah, I know I did something. Today. All right. Yes, that and the super chat is also available. So all donations are welcome over here. Appreciate y'all. Who do we have here? Oh, first of all, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, like mine, hopefully it gets better starting right now. Okay, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching this show, make sure you hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio form of this, we put this out on Thursday at lunchtime. So we hope you're enjoying your lunch break. Make sure you leave a 5-star review because we're trying to grow on those side of things. Our guy Sterling is here.
What's going on, Sterling?
I know. He said, Jose, I'm bringing that ginger ale to you tomorrow. Someone snuck my extra ones for B. Okay. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. He's been holding on to those things for weeks, and that's my bad. I appreciate you, Sterling.
Yeah, it is your bet. That's why I get the ginger ale and you go without.
You want to bet? You want to bet?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I want to say something real quick before we get into any more shout outs. I went and took a look to see if we had any submitted questions, and there are a couple submitted questions. I just want to say, y'all think you're slick. You're not. Don't put multiple questions per post. All right, it's one question per person on there, and you know it's my fault. We've been letting you get away with it. That stops now. All right, I'm just going to pick one of these questions for each, and that's how we're going to go.
I thought you were going to say don't wait till the last second.
I don't know. I mean, I don't care about that. I'll just ignore that. I'm saying don't try and get cute and put multiple questions in your post. That's not how we roll over here. If you want multiple questions, this is real. If you want multiple questions, you submit one on the community post, you submit one on Twitter, you submit one on IG. Get these interaction numbers up. You can't be putting multiple questions in a post on the community page. All right.
You know what? I'm going to create a comment section on the website too. All right. So you can put comments on there. You can put questions on there as well. I'm going to work on that. Who we got here? Coach is in the house. Says Brodny got a new house.
That's right. That's right. You know,
new house, new office. Yeah. He's living large over there. I know.
Sir.
What else we got in here? We got our guy Hendo from the Rogue Pod. What's good? Salute to you.
You got to be kidding me, Hendo. I sent you a message that you didn't respond to. But you in here?
Look, he has his priorities, work, and then the LBHT show. All right. Man. Not answering Brodny's text.
It's a very important text.
Oh, well. All right. Was it about what we were talking about before we came online?
I mean, partially.
Okay.
It's work related.
Okay, it's work related. All right. Noah's in the house. There he is. Salute for the $5 donation. Noah says, Jose and Brodny, will you all be watching college football Saturday?
Yeah.
I'll watch a little bit of Maryland. Yeah, you know, I loosely root for the Terrapins, man, but I'll be honest, man. When the school doesn't take football seriously, I can't take them seriously. All right.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the two with Miami. Like I said, when they turn back into the U, I'll be more engaged. But we do also have Ohio State and Texas this week, which is a huge matchup. Actually, I'm not sure if that one's on Saturday or Sunday. but regardless,
Oh,
it's this weekend. I'll be tuning into that one. And Miami is playing the hated Notre Dame Irish. So regardless, I'm going to have to tune in and root for Carson Beck. I know he's a bum. I know he's going to throw 4 interceptions, but I gotta root my Hurricanes on this week.
we do want to give a shout out to the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, starting out 1-0, beating
right.
Stanford. Salute. That's our old stomping grounds. We were stationed, our parents were stationed in Hawaii. We were military brats. So Hawaii always has a place in our hearts. Okay. Who else we got in here? DDSQ salute, says what it do. Thanks for coming through. Jeremy's in the house. What's up, Jeremy? Says, hey everyone. Appreciate you coming through. Jeremy? Felipe Marino says, do you guys think we beat the Bills week 1? I'm afraid, Jose. I'm not afraid.
You're afraid.
I mean, we got to give our predictions, but I'm going to give you a little spoiler. We beat them down. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We beat them down. Yeah. The Ravens, I mean, you guys have watched enough football. You watched enough Ravens over the years. This is what we do. Big games, games against top teams, Harbaugh gets his team ready, and we always show out for those games.
Unless it's the Chiefs.
So the Chiefs. Except for the Chiefs. But we play them close at least, right?
Yeah.
We don't fall. It's the other games, right? But we have to
watch out for that Cleveland week 2.
We have to play Browns week 2. That's when I'm gonna get nervous. That's when I'm gonna get a little antsy. That's why
Joe
I'm
Flacco revenge game.
Yeah. Right. So
God forbid Cleveland wins that game, and we got to hear your son David talk about how Joe Flacco would come back to Baltimore and win a Super Bowl because he's better than Lamar. Disgusting.
Sutton, what's good, man? Says, what up, fellas? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you.
Up, Sutton.
We got Osmond in the house. Salute to Osmond. Says, hey, fellas, hope all is well. Ideally, I'm just all over the place. Don't mind me. I'm just scrambling around. You ain't got to pull them up. Game Too Easy says, now the Ravens have 4 players on defense making over 90 million. 90 million. Defense better cause turnovers in the playoffs. Congrats to Kyle, though. He deserves it. We're going to talk about that. Yeah. We are going to talk about that. If you guys know us, you know our hashtag, defund the defense. And, look, this is why, right? The defense gets treated like kings, and the offense gets treated like peasants when it comes to these contracts. Danity is in the house. Yes, we want to bring this one up right here, Adelia. Danny says, welcome to the chat, everyone. Hit the like and subscribe button. Newsletter, LBHTShow.com. I hope you guys have been getting the newsletter. I hope you subscribe to the newsletter. That's one. I hope you subscribed. Okay, the newsletter is live. I know you guys didn't believe me. And I understand. But it's live. Okay, we've had 2 issues so far. I'm going to put another one out real soon. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Any suggestions, let us know. And, we're still making tweaks on that. So, LBHTShow.com is where you go for that. Go down to the bottom, submit your email, and you'll get the next issue. Okay, we're putting them out weekly. Yes, super chat's available. Cash App $ LBHT Show. Hashtag road to 3K. Yes, that is the goal. Honestly, I want to see. This is a big goal. This is a big goal, but I know we can do it. I want 5,000 by the end of the season. I want 5,000 by the end of the season. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Of course. Tell your friends and loved ones. Hey, friend. Hey, loved one. Do you love me? You do? Well, then I need you to go over to Lunch Break Hot Take and hit that subscribe button. All right. And tell more people about it. We're trying to get them to 5,000 subscribers. We can do it.
Tell more people like Bazel just did by gifting 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Bazel.
Thank you, Bazel. Appreciate that. Daniel Franklin's in the house. Says Humphrey and Roquan got to go.
I mean, Roquan, okay, but Marlon?
I don't want Humphrey to go anywhere. I want him to retire a Raven.
Marlon got called out one time on Instagram, and he been locked in since.
He answered the call. Yeah, I got no problem with him. What's up, Kim? Thanks for coming through. Urban, salute to you. Appreciate y'all. All right. Let's see. Oh, look. I got one of the gifts. I think that's me. That shouldn't have gone to me, but it's random. He can't control it. DZ got a gift, a membership gift. Raven Ron, P Brownie, aka P Brown the Third. All right. Look, you guys enjoy the memberships, and because you're members, you get access to the Overtime Show. So you go over to the membership tab. I already posted a link for the Overtime Show that happens right after this show, and you can suggest what we want to talk about. We have a topic to start out the show, but the show can go in whatever direction you want to go in. But we're going to start out talking about Raja Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, and unfortunate incident involving him and the other wrestler, Psycho. I don't know if it's Sicko or Psycho Stu.
Yeah, I think it's Psycho.
Okay, yeah. We're going to discuss that. It's very bad. It's very bad. But who else we got in here? That damn Dub, Fire Hardball. He's already giving me heartburn. The season didn't start yet. Calm down. Calm down. Wait until week 2. And D Weezy, shout out to you. Appreciate you. All right, I got the shout outs out the way. We got more people coming in here. We got about 35 people in the chat. Hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Listen, 2 weeks away, and NFL season will be here. We had a productive preseason on the Ravens side. I think there's a little less desirable on the Panthers side, but we're down to the 53-man roster. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over a trade in Carolina involving Adam Theilen. We're going to talk about Kyle Hamilton's historic deal. All right. And then we got another story for Core Public Opinion. He was featured on here a couple of weeks ago, but it looks like he's been acquitted, B. All right. So we're going to discuss all that. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B and Nicole have a Black History fact for you.
This week on the LBHT Black History Fact, Jean-Michel Basquiat was a visionary artist whose life and work challenged the boundaries of art, race, and identity. Born in Brooklyn in 1960 to Haitian and Puerto Rican parents, he was a precocious child, reading and writing by age 4 and absorbing art through museum visits with his mother. As a teenager, he made his mark on New York's streets with cryptic graffiti under the name Samo, blending poetry, philosophy, and protest in public spaces. That raw energy carried into his paintings, which fused street art with neo-expressionism and tackled themes like colonialism, capitalism, and Black history. By his early 20s, Basquiat had become a global sensation. He was the youngest artist ever featured in prestigious exhibitions like Documenta in Germany and the Whitney Biennial in New York. His friendship and collaboration with Andy Warhol further elevated his profile, though Basquiat remained deeply critical of the art world's racial dynamics. His canvases were layered with symbols, text, and historical references, often portraying Black figures as saints, warriors, or kings, reclaiming narratives erased by mainstream culture. Tragically, Basquiat died of a heroin overdose in 1988 at just 27 years old. Yet his legacy continues to grow. His work commands record-breaking prices, and his influence reverberates through fashion, music, and contemporary art. More than a painter, Basquiat was a cultural force, turning the language of the streets into a visual lexicon of resistance and pride. His art remains a powerful testament to the brilliance and complexity of Black identity, and a reminder that creativity can be both beautiful and revolutionary.
All right. Salute to the Black History fact. Where do you want to start, B?
I just want to start by saying I'm not by any means an art critic. Okay, not an art connoisseur or anything like that. But that last picture that was up there, the skull,
Yeah.
that one sold for $110 million, a little over $110 million. It's the highest price for any American artist ever at the time. And I'm just gonna say, like, if I had $100 trillion, you could not convince me to pay $100 million for that. And like I said, I don't want to talk bad about the man's art, but like some of that stuff just looked like some kid scribbled it. I don't know.
You know,
I don't
listen,
get it.
it's their own world. It's their own culture. I don't judge. I'll never get it.
I do not understand a lot of it. I really don't. There's some art pieces I can look at and you know they connect, right? And I understand why people love it and everything. This is not that. I do not get Basquiat.
You know, I look at some of the stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. But like I said, I'm not involved in that enough to appreciate it to the tune of $110 million. And that's one of those things where, look, man, like, to each his own. If somebody's willing to buy, then it's worth it. Okay. So I don't judge at all. Salute to his artwork. All right. Where do we want to start? You want to start with the Adam Theilen trade and then 53-man roster, or do you want to go Ravens?
Go in the order that you had it set. Start off with the Ravens, and talk about how y'all wasting more of that money on the defensive side of the ball, and then we can.
All right, let's start with the 53-man roster. Let's start with the 53-man roster. Do we have that graphic? I believe. Yes, there it is. There it is. All right, who we have? Lamar Jackson made the team, y'all. All right, whew.
It was close.
that was close between him and Devin Leary. I wasn't sure for a minute. Of course, Derrick Henry. We got Rasheen Ali, Keaton Mitchell. These are all. I hate how they put Pat Ricard under running backs.
They usually group them with the tight ends, like tight end and fullback, but
yeah. And Justice Hill, no surprises there. That running back group was pretty much expected. Rasheen Ali looked pretty good in the preseason. I think we have a good, strong running back group. This might be the strongest running back group in the league.
Could be.
As a group, right? Yeah. This might. Coach, what do you think? I think this might be the strongest. I like all these guys. Wide receivers: Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Tylen Wallace, Tez Walker, and who was that last person?
LeJounte Wester.
Oh, Wester. Yeah. DeJounte Wester. I like that too. Wester needs some more developing. You see some flashes from him. Definitely in the return game, he's going to provide some much needed help there. Tylen Wallace gives us a spark there too as well. So we got two good returners. So I'm cool with that. Tight ends, no surprise there. Likely Kolar, Andrews. I thought maybe they could have kept one more tight end, but it's fine. Offensive line. All right, here we go. Tyler Lidenbaum, good. Ben Cleveland, all right.
Corey Bullock was a guy who was on the practice squad all last year. They like what they've seen from him, so he's kind of the last guy in before they shut the door on the O-line. Joseph Noteboom.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the veteran, right? That's the one veteran that's supposed to come in there and coach those young guys up. Roger Rosengarten, Carson Vincent, which I like. Coach has broken down his tape on a few of his videos, so go check him out over on Sip Tally Films. And he's convinced me that that's somebody that we can develop to be possible good starting tackle in the future. I like what I saw from him in preseason. I'm glad he made the 53-man roster. Andrew Voorhees, Daniel Falele, of course, Ronnie Stanley. So that's our O-line right there. It's just not. We'll see if Falele can, I don't know, find somebody to block, and if Voorhees plays solid, if he can continue to play solid, then our O-line is in good shape. But that's a big if for me. I'm still not sold on those two guards yet. They just need to get better, and we'll find out. Over on the defensive line side, we got John Jenkins, Nnamdi Madubuike, Aeneas Peebles, Broderick Washington, and Travis Jones. What do you think about that, B?
I think it's a pretty strong group at the top. Depth is a concern for the defensive line, but with Travis and Nnamdi and John Jenkins and hopefully a bounce back from Broderick Washington to what they had seen before signing him to his extension. Aeneas Peebles is a rookie that I know a lot of people liked. I wouldn't expect too much out of him for the season. So that's a spot they're going to have to watch. But so long as they keep their starters healthy, they should be good there.
Yeah, I agree. Going on to linebackers, we got Roquan Smith. They kept a lot of linebackers. Roquan Smith.
Well, because they have the edges mixed in with the.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Roquan Smith, Trenton Simpson, Jake Hummel, those are and Teddy Buchanan. Those are your inside guys. And then you have your edge. You got Mike Green, Jay Higgins, Kyle Van Noy, David Ojabo. He made the team?
Sure did.
Jeez. Tavius Robinson, Odafe Owe. Okay. All right.
Again, that's a good group. It's a deep group. Adisa Isaac should be part of that, but he is currently on hurt. He's I don't remember. They have it down here at the bottom, the reserved injured list. He'll be back at some point, hopefully. But again, the edge group, pretty good. I know that there are some questions outside of Roquan Smith at the inside linebacker position, but that's not something that should really have too big an effect on the defense this season.
Not at all. Not one bit. Defensive backs, we got Nate Wiggins, Chidobe Owuzie, Kyle Hamilton, Sanusi Kane, Jair Alexander, Malachi Starks, TJ Tampa, Ruben Lowry, Keon Martin, Marlon Humphrey. Keon Martin made all kinds of plays in the preseason, and he definitely earned his way onto this roster. This defensive back group, again, should be the strongest in the league.
Yeah, it's definitely the best in the league, particularly when you're just looking at the starting group. They have 5 guys who are first-round picks. None of them were busts. None of them are past their prime. They're all either in their prime currently or coming into their prime. So it's one of obviously the best group in the league in terms of the back end of the defense. And then they have guys who they've drafted fairly high and developed, like TJ Tampa, and you had Chidobe Awuzie, who's a longtime veteran, backing up those guys. So there's no excuses for the back end this year.
Yeah. So we can take this down and we'll discuss. But there's a couple. I mean, let's take a look at some of these groups. I think the running back group, I think, could be the best in the league. Defensive back group, definitely the best in the league. How do you feel about? I mean, they have them clumped as linebackers, but let's say edge rushers as a whole. Where would you put them? They're up there.
That's going to depend on Mike Green and how good he is as a rookie. We know Kyle Van Noy and Odafe Owe both were over 10 sacks last year. Yeah. Kyle Van Noy is older. You wouldn't expect him to keep on playing at that level, but maybe you get another year out of him. Owe should be coming into his prime right now. So you would expect solid play from the starters. If Mike Green is as good as everybody has said he is, everybody thinks he is, yeah, it's one of the better edge rushing groups in the league as well. Especially if David Ojabo ever wakes up and realizes that he's being paid to play football.
Yeah, but yes, that's what I had to say. It's not that we necessarily will have the best edge rushers, right? Mm-hmm. But rotation wise, if we can get guys that come in and it can play like starters and still get to the quarterback, that will be very dangerous. That'd be very tough to deal with for opposing offensive lines.
Yeah, there's a pretty great edge rushing group coming up later in the show as well. So I don't know. I know that David Ojabo's a bust. I know that Mike Green's not as good as advertised. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hater. Interior D line too. Like Madubuike, he's one of the better D tackles, obviously, but Travis Jones getting a lot of hype as well. Mm-hmm. Broderick Washington said he's the best nose tackle in the league if he stays healthy. And listen, man, he could be. He could be. You see the difference between when he plays and when he doesn't play. He makes a world of difference on our D line. So that defense, all that to say, they better show up this year, especially given the fact that the latest news: Kyle Hamilton getting $100 million contract from the Ravens. What are the details? You have the details for that?
It's a 4-year deal, $100 million. I believe it was $82 million guaranteed. It makes him the highest paid safety in the NFL, and well deserved for Kyle.
Yeah,
Kyle's a great player, and even though he's very, very early in his career, he's one of the best players in the league. But again, it's just one of those. It's just kind of adding on with the theme in Baltimore, right? He paid Matabike, he paid Roquan. They, to an extent, they paid Broderick Washington. But they've paid guys over there, and then every year they're not living up to expectations necessarily, right? Sometimes they're a great defense, and they're just not making those game-changing plays that you expect. And sometimes recently they just haven't been a great defense. So that they need to have those guys fully locked in for the season, and they need to play up to their expectations.
Yes, and make no mistake, right? Me and B are critical of how they built this team. We are defund the defense guys, right? You build the offense first, because no matter what you want to say about the defense, the best player on the team by a mile is Lamar Jackson, right? And you go as he goes. You're expecting him to win. If you don't win, it's on him. Okay. If you win, it's because of him. So that's where we feel like you should have made the investment. They made absolutely zero investment in the O-line.
Yeah.
Right. Like bringing back Ronnie Stanley was the very least you could do.
Mm-hmm.
we are 32nd. We ranked 32nd in amount of money spent on the O-line. So they made no investment there. They made very little investment in the wide receiver core as well. But somehow they're still solid, not bad at all. So, but look, we're here now. The defense, me and B have high expectations for the defense. Me and B like Zach Orr, I think, but you like Zach Orr, right?
Yeah.
He had to go through the growing pains. He was a first-time coach, right? First-time coordinator. He was linebacker coach, first-time coordinator, and there was an adjustment phase there. It looked like towards the end of the season, he was turning things around. And I gotta be honest, man, watching the preseason, I know it's just preseason, but I like the way all those players played on that side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That tells me that's a coaching thing. That's a systematic thing that everybody understands the level of play that you got to have to be on the field. And it didn't matter if it was first string, second string, third string. They all play with that same intensity, and that is reflective of the defensive coordinator. So I have high expectations for Zach Orr. I have high expectations for this defense as a whole. I expect them to be the number one defense in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. We've said before on air that they should be allowing under 20 points a game. Yeah. If a team scores 20 and you lose, that's on the defense, period. They have too much talent, too much investment for you to be looking anywhere else or at anyone else to win the game for you.
And they have to have the mentality, right? They gotta have the mentality of it's on us. If we were trying to replicate those 2000s defense, that's the mentality that they had. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Suggs Nada, they took it on. They said, we're winning the game. The offense is going to do what they do. They just need to not turn the ball over too many times. If they do, we'll make up for it. But we win the game. They gotta take that persona on. And if they do that, we'll win a whole lot of games.
Yeah, until January, and then you'll go home
to the Super Bowl,
wondering why John Harbaugh is still your coach.
We'll talk about that when we get there. One game at a time. Killer says trade Nnamdi and pay Tyler and Travis. Nnamdi already got paid, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you're saying trade him.
That's easier said than done with the contract that you gave him.
Okay, so trade him and then spend more money on defense. At what point do we pay anybody on offense?
Well, no, Tyler's on offense. I'm about Tyler Linderbaum, so there you go. There's one guy.
But of course you gotta pay Tyler.
It's just to keep the status quo.
You gotta pay Tyler because his replacement Nick Samac got cut.
Hey, he's back. He's on the practice squad. So just calm down. All right. They don't need him on the 53 right now. They've got Tyler Linderbaum, but he's right there, ready to go. Goodness.
Harbaugh don't want these kind of guys. Listen, yes, you're right. But I said last year for me, he can't go out the same way that he went out previously, but he did. But I think this year for sure, if they go out the same way they've been going out, there will be a shakeup because Lamar. Look, you have to redo Lamar's deal. Lamar is visibly upset after losing these games. I think he's at a point now where he understands I'm not going to let this organization rule my legacy. All right. I'm going to make them bend to my will. I think he's, his mom is representing him. I think he's got a good team around him and they'll tell him, hey, Harbaugh ain't getting it done. This has to be the year that they get a Super Bowl. Otherwise, Harbaugh got to go. Lamar can stay. He's going to stay. Harbaugh can go.
Maybe. I just don't. I don't think the owner's interested in moving on from John Harbaugh at all. Because how could you? How is he still here?
Because they're friends.
Okay, but that's my point, right? Like he's not going to fire him. It's been 7 years of the same exact thing every year, and he's not even on the hot seat. Like there's no discussion of him being replaced outside of the people at the end of the bar, right? So I don't think that like as long as they keep winning, 10 plus games, keep making the playoffs, keep winning divisions, keep people in those seats in the stands, he's fine with John Harbaugh being the coach and not winning Super Bowls.
Well, the difference is Lamar's been fine with it too. The minute Lamar starts showing displeasure and unwillingness to go forward with them, then you have to make that change.
But I don't think he will. I think that Lamar likes John Harbaugh. I think he likes him as his coach. And, he's upset at the time, during the games. But, players get upset all the time. And, I don't think he's going to push him to say, you've got to fire John Harbaugh or I'm not extending or anything like that. I think that, players buy into the loyalty of they buy into the brotherhood, the family thing, the loyalty to the team and all that. And that's why you see some great players spend their entire careers with losing organizations.
I think it's not, everybody's different, but I think it's a little different with quarterbacks because they have to, if you're a great quarterback, you have to think about your legacy. And it's the same thing with NBA players. We talk about that with NBA players that show great talent early on. They put up, great numbers. They don't really have a chance to win a championship because they got a young team and they're just out there having fun. But once they get into their late 20s, then it's not fun anymore. It's not funny. It's not fun time. It's not all funny jokes and all that stuff. Or look at this dunk. It's, I need to start thinking about my legacy. I know I'm a great player. I've proven it the first, 7 years in the league, and now I need to start adding some rings to my resume so I can have my place in history. And that's usually when they start cutting their hair. They go Jordan or Kobe, and they show that they're serious and they really try to go after it. And if they have to move around to different teams and get in a position to where they have a team around them, then they'll do that. But I think quarterbacks do that too. After a while, they look around and say, I need to get a ring. And if you can't make it happen here, then send me someplace that can make it happen.
So some quarterbacks will do that, but in the NFL, it's much harder to do that. And the guys who do it get labeled as coach killers. They get labeled as bad teammates and things like that. And the reality is a lot of these guys, they sit and they stay with these teams because they're the highest paid, in football. They're always getting their money. They're not they're not in a situation where, it's like Trey Hendricks and we're like, well, you turned 30. I don't know if we want to pay. No, the quarterbacks are always getting their money. They're getting their money first. And the organization is always looking to keep those guys happy in that regard, so they don't have to worry about it. And even if a quarterback was unhappy, right? Lamar's got several years left on his deal, right? And he doesn't have to restructure it. He can make the team suffer, but that's not going to help him win. And at the end, they can still franchise him twice. So it's however long he's got on his contract plus 2 more years.
Well, it depends. I mean, we're not in his mind, but if he feels like I've taken this team as far as I could take them, and I can't win with the team currently, the way it's currently constructed, you're not protecting me out there. You're not making any changes. And if you're going to keep doing the same thing, I'm not going to make it easy for you to go out there and just pay the defense. If we're not going to win anyway. I'd rather not win and just take all my money and not let you just go out there and play with my career. He could do that.
And that is true. In the chat, they're saying Lamar did negotiate a no tag clause, so it is just the whatever the length of the contract is. I don't remember how many years he has left, but I'm just saying it's not something that you see commonly in the NFL. For coaches to try to, or for quarterbacks to try to push their head coaches out, especially if they have a good relationship, which by all accounts, those guys do. But we'll see. I mean, I think ultimately money talks more than anything, right? It speaks louder than anything. And he could still be upset. He could still want John Harbaugh gone. And if Bisciotti says, hey, you know what? How about we up that salary another 15 mil or whatever it is? We give you another signing bonus, another bonus. He'll be like, all right, I don't like John, but we'll make it work. And I think also players, especially players at a very high level, tend to blame themselves before anyone else, right?
The older they get, they start blaming themselves less and less.
But the older you get, the less leverage you have also. But they blame themselves first. They blame the players first before you look at the coaches, before you look at the GMs or anything like that. Because you're like, hey, we're the ones on the field. We're the ones that got to make the plays. Blah blah blah. Like I guarantee that Lamar is not thinking, man, we lost this game because you threw the ball to Ronnie Stanley instead of handing it to Derrick Henry. He's thinking, man, if I don't throw that interception, if I don't fumble the ball, and then even if he gets beyond that, he's thinking, maybe he's not putting a name to it. He's like, maybe if other people didn't fumble the ball and drop the ball,
absolutely,
then we still win the game.
Absolutely. Yes, he's always going to hold himself accountable, but he's going to hold other people accountable too, right? And he's not going to do that publicly because he's too good of a guy to do that. But he absolutely is looking at them like, bro, you can't drop the ball in that moment.
Yeah, for sure. But that's my point, is that you're looking at yourself first, you're looking at your teammates second, and then you're looking at the coach.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I think it's hard for a lot of players to blame the coach and the GM when you're winning that many games, even though you're the reason that you're winning that many games. But when you're winning that many games every year, it's hard for a lot of them to look at the coaches and be like, hey, it's on them. Because you have that belief in the team. You're like, the team is this good. We've proven it all year. We've proven it for the last 7 years, how good we are. So it's not their fault, or it's not any particular person's fault. You get to the playoffs and you have to have a certain amount of luck to get to the Super Bowl. That's whoever wins it every single year. You have a certain amount of luck to get there and a certain amount of luck to win it. And I think that, players, before they start pointing the fingers, especially, high character players, which is, what we're talking about with Lamar. Like, you talk about Deontay Johnson, then it's a whole different thing. But they're going to point their finger at themselves long before they point the finger at anybody else.
Yeah. Shout out to Living Legend, man. I was going through. He said Mark Androps. He has to redeem himself in this week 1 matchup. He has to. Somebody asked what I think about that game. We're going to give our official predictions next week. All right. That's when we make our predictions for each game. But spoiler alert, we're going to beat them down. That's how I feel about it. I always felt like we were a better team than them. They're a good team. They're a really good team. Josh Allen's an excellent player.
Yeah.
But I just, the way we played them in a regular season last year is how I felt we should have beat them in the playoffs. I still feel that way. I just felt like we got to a slow start, some poor coaching situations, and of course the drops in this in the second half is what did us in. And you can't have that many mistakes against any team, especially a playoff caliber team, no matter how good or how much better you think they are, or you are. But no, man, I think we go out there and we take care of business. I'm not worried about the game. I am worried about week 2.
I will say one thing about the game. I expect Baltimore to win, but Mark Andrews cannot redeem himself in that game. No. Mark Andrews could go for 305 touchdowns in that game, and he is not redeemed. He cannot redeem himself in any game that takes place outside of January or February. No,
I agree, but he don't go out there and play like it.
Sure, I mean, maybe he will, but I'd say it doesn't matter. Like that's not. I'm not going to look at him any differently. He could go out there with 5 drops, or he could go out there, like I said, with a 150-yard game. I'm going to look at him the exact same way going into week 2.
Listen, and this is where people are going to say you guys are too cynical, or you guys are so negative. Mark Andrews could light it up this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. He's one of the better tight ends in the league. He can go out there and have 1,400 yards and a bunch of touchdowns, and people will say, hey, Mark Andrews, that guy, he best tight end, this is and that, and watch what he does in the playoffs. And me and B are going to be like, yeah, you got to show me. I don't believe it.
He is one of the tight ends in the league. That's absolutely true. And he could go out there and put up 600-700 yards, man, like that. Absolutely. But when you get to the playoffs, he has to cross what's known as the goal line, and he has to do it while holding the ball. And it has to be between the whistles, and it has to be the opposing end zone.
0 touchdowns.
Those are the only things that matter. The only
0 touchdowns. You can't call you. He's been to enough playoff games. It's not one of those things. It's not a Antonio Gates situation where it's like, well, shoot, I only played in 2 games, right? Like it's not one of those things. He's had plenty of opportunities in the playoffs to show who he is, and he has nothing to show for it. Yeah. Shay said the best tight end got engaged. He is not the best tight end anymore. Okay, did you see who he got engaged to? He might as well have said, I retire.
You got engaged to a billionaire.
You that's like somebody winning the lottery and still showing up to work. What do you think they're gonna do? All right.
I wasn't gonna bring that up at all. Thanks to Show for mentioning that. I knew he would, but I mean, congratulations to them. That's nice.
Talking about Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift. If you don't know who we're talking about, they announced their engagement.
Good for them. Yeah. Congrats to them. Whatever. I mean, no, I don't know them. I'm not like we're not all invited to the wedding. I don't care.
You don't know. We might get an invite.
I mean, we're special, but no, it's not. It's not. I know why it's news. People can't look away from celebrities, but like, man, look away for a minute.
Yo, somebody said, yo, he went from those fresh haircuts when he was dating a black woman to can I have your license and registration, please, haircut.
I will say that Travis is definitely one of those relationship chameleons. He is whoever he's dating. But again.
But you know what though? Look, honestly, celebrity relationships a lot of times fail. I don't think that one's gonna fail. I think that one's gonna last. They
hopefully for them. I don't want to. I'm not gonna wish on anybody's relationship failing, but again, I don't care.
I don't care either, and I don't really know them, but it seems genuine. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be one of those ones where they're gonna be fine.
Sure.
There's a couple you look at like. You know what I'm saying? There's some that you look at, you're like, that ain't gonna last.
Like Tila Tequila, really? Nah. But no,
Oh, you love her. All right, moving on. We got everything, right? We covered everything there.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time for the main event, right, B?
You know it. 100%.
All right. Do you want to start with? You want to start with the roster?
Yeah, I mean, we
stuff?
can start with the roster. I know that the rosters that we have are a little outdated because of the cuts and the waivers and everything. But we put up the. I guess we could start just with the quarterbacks. No surprises there, obviously. Bryce Young making it. Andy Dalton is the backup. That's why he was pump faking and falling on his back and laughing. He knew he's the backup. There wasn't any chance. They did re-sign Bryce Perkins to the practice squad, and they brought in Hendon Hooker, who had just been waived by Detroit. Hopefully one of those guys can develop and maybe be the replacement for Andy Dalton down the road. But that was never really going to happen this year.
So the one thing that we got from that the preseason was that last game they played Pittsburgh in that last game, right?
Yeah.
And you and I are watching it, and it's like there's 6 minutes left on the clock, and it's like, they're not even trying to drive. They're down 9 points. And I was like, they're not even trying to drive to get a touchdown. They're just kind of running the clock out. And it's because we all knew what was going on at that point. They seen enough. Bryce Perkins, they wanted back. Jack Plummer, they did not want back. Yeah. He sealed his fate in that first half. All right. Even on a touchdown pass that he almost just threw away.
I mean, he launched that thing. And I'll give him credit. It was great TV because that was some suspense. That man was wide. There wasn't a defender within 20 yards of that receiver, and my man had the toe tap in the back of the end zone to make sure he scored.
He lobbed that thing up so high. If a defender realized what was going on, because that's what happened. The defenders just weren't paying attention at all. They're just running the other way, looking for the ball. If anybody paid attention to what was going on, they could have easily ran over there and made a play.
Yeah, that was unfortunate what he did with the ball on that play.
All right,
he's not going to be around to do that anymore. So,
no, he's not. What we got next?
Next thing we got the running backs. Obviously, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Trevor Etienne, the rookie. They cut Raheem Blackshear, who is kind of a fan favorite, who's been there for a couple of years. Again, he's not obviously an overly talented guy, but he's made plays for Carolina. He certainly has a place in the NFL, but they are, they're trying to move on. They're shedding a lot of the, I don't want to call them the loser Panthers, but a lot of the guys who have been there over the last few years where they have not been winning games. They're trying to shed that identity,
that losing culture.
Forward. Yes, the culture. Yes. The culture of Raheem Blackshear. Next up, we've got wide receiver where there were some mild surprises, I guess you could say. There's one name on here that's not like the others. We've got Teteroa McMillan, we've got Adam Thielen, we've got Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, Bryson Tremaine, David Moore, and Jimmy Horn Jr. So right off the bat, Hunter Renfrow is not on the team. He did not make the 53 and is currently not signed back to the practice squad. They are in contact with him to see if they can sign him to the practice squad. So we'll see what happens there. But also, Adam Thielen, no longer a Carolina Panther. He wanted to go back home to Minnesota. The Vikings wanted him because Jordan Addison is suspended for the first 3 games, and one of their other receivers is hurt currently. So they felt like they needed to add to that room, at least in the short term. And it took a while, a lot longer than Vikings fans wanted. They wanted Carolina to just dump him. But eventually they got the deal done. Carolina got what essentially worked out to a 4th-round pick for a 35-year-old wide receiver who was contemplating retirement this offseason. So a great job from Dan Morgan and Brent Tillis negotiating that trade and not just, handing him over for a 7th rounder or a pick swap or something like that. They got significant value out of Adam Thielen in his, age 35 season. But
this is what leverage looks like, right? This is what leverage looks like. Yes, he's 35. This is probably his last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say he's not worth a 4th-round pick. But when one team wants the player and the other team that has the player wants to keep the player and they're not looking to trade him, then yes, you have to give up whatever they ask for because they're not asking for anything from you, right?
Right.
No, we want him, right? We like how he's helped Bryce Young develop. He's a safety valve. I'm sure that's why they want him there, right? For their young quarterback. And we're not looking to move off of him. If we are looking to move off of him, it's no less than a 4th round pick. If that's too much for you, then wait for Jordan Addison to come back.
Yeah.
Right. But
go sign KJ Osborne.
The Vikings did the right thing because at the end of the day, that 4th round pick ain't nothing either.
Yeah, it could be something, right?
Yeah.
Potentially, if your GM knows what he's doing, and it could be nothing. So you know that Adam Thielen is going to help you right now if you're Minnesota. You know that.
Yes. Yeah.
And in Carolina, he was the only real, not the only veteran. They have David Moore, but he's more of a special teamer at this point.
Yeah.
But you had the only really proven veteran receiver for Bryce Young, but they have a lot of young talent that they believe in. So they were okay with moving on from Adam Thielen and letting those younger guys try and step up and fill that void.
Yeah.
So I think this worked out for everybody. I know that some Viking fans are upset that it took as long as it did, but make a better offer next time.
Facts. All right, what we got next?
Next up, we've got tight ends. Ja'Tavion Sanders, Tommy Tremble, Mitchell Evans, James Mitchell. And look, it's not a great group at this point. James Mitchell is your blocker and tight end guy or a special teams kind of guy. He's not really somebody who's going to contribute too much on offense. The 2 guys in the middle came from Notre Dame, so you already know what I think about them. So we're really putting this all on Ja'Tavion Sanders out of Texas in his 2nd year. He was starting to come on last year before he got a bad neck injury. He's back. He's 100%. He looks like he's ready to pick up where he left off. So hopefully he kind of grabs the reins there and runs away with that job. But that is a big question mark for Carolina going into the season, that tight end group.
I like Ja'Tavion Sanders.
Yeah. I think he's definitely got the potential, but we, like a lot of guys on the team, we need to see him realize it. Next up with the O-line, this is going to be the same group that they had last year. Ekwonu at left tackle, Damian Lewis left guard, Austin Corbett at that center position, and then the right side, Robert Hunt and Taylor Moton. They brought back Brady Christensen, Nijman, Cade Mays, and Chandler Zavala, famous for receiving a 0.0 grade from Pro Football Focus in one of his starts. But that's the same O-line they had last year. So, +2 for continuity. They brought everybody back. They are expecting the line to be even better this year than it was last year. And I think that's a reasonable expectation, but we do need to see Ekwonu take a big step forward. He's kind of just a middling starter right now. And we really need to see him kind of take that step forward and become a franchise left tackle, or at least a guy you expect to be your starter for the long term. Because if not, then it's time to start looking.
And next year's draft. So this is a big year to see. And like you said, even if one, you want him to work out. Mm-hmm. You want him to work out. So you had that taken care of. You got your right tackle. You just re-signed him, right, or extended him.
Yeah.
And like you said, your guards have been playing well, but you want to start looking for their replacements at some point, right? Because you don't want to keep paying them what you're paying them. You had to pay a lot. I want to say overpaid because they're worth the money, but you paid a lot to bring them in to shore up that O-line. But now you want to start developing some guys. Mm-hmm. So O-line needs to be the investment for you guys next year.
Yeah. So that's the offense. It's a group that has a lot of potential. Bryce looks like, again, he's ready to pick up from where he left off last year. We really need to see the pass catchers as a whole step up. We know those running backs can perform. Both Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle were over 1,000 yards last year as starters. Trevor Etienne's a pretty talented guy out of Georgia. And like I said, it's down to the pass catchers at this point. Whether Tetaroa is everything we expect, whether Xavier Legette can bounce back from a fairly disappointing rookie year, whether Jalen Coker can build on a pretty positive rookie year. And you want to see what you can get out of Jimmy Horn, Bryson Tremaine, and if they bring back Hunter Renfrow, how he can kind of fit into the puzzle there.
Yeah.
Defensively, if we look at the defensive line here, it's a pretty strong group, I think. We got Derek Brown coming back from that season-ending injury, Ashawn Robinson, Tershawn Wharton, Bobby Brown, Cam Jackson. Crometti was cut earlier today, so he's not part of that group anymore. But when you combine them with the edges, you've got Pat Jones, who was a rotational player in Minnesota, DJ Wanham, who had, I forget how many sacks he had last year, but he had 8 the previous years. Nick Scorton and Princely Umamilian, who were both drafted this past year in the second and third rounds, who have looked very good in the preseason. Thomas Incoom, who is a guy they feel like has a lot of potential. Hasn't shown a whole lot yet, obviously, in game. DJ Johnson, I'm expecting him to be cut any second now. But if you just take a look at the guys who are for sure going to be there, that is a very solid group, I think. The defense was one of the worst ever last year. They were particularly bad against the run. But, again, that is what happens when Derek Brown's not out there. And, the rest of the line wasn't great. So that's why they went to work on the interior D-line in free agency. And they hit the edges hard in the draft. And I think they've upgraded that group quite a bit.
Yeah.
Inside linebackers, it's a different story. Christian Roseboom, Trevin Wallace. Trevin was a third-round pick a couple years ago, so they are expecting big things from him. Christian Roseboom started about half a season last year for the Rams and played well.
He did.
Not much experience there. Then you look at Charles and Bam Martin Scott, and I mean, it's just prayers up at that point for the backups. And it doesn't, it gets a little bit better when you get to the corners and to the defensive backs here. At corner, obviously they've got J.C. Horn. They just re-signed him. You got Mike Jackson, who's played well since he's been in Carolina. Charles Smith-Wade, who's developing into a pretty solid corner. Corey Thornton is an undrafted corner who worked his way onto the roster with an impressive preseason. Caleb Evans, kind of see DJ Johnson a little bit on that one. He's better than DJ Johnson, but I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be a long-term piece there. At safety, Trayvon Morig was the big signing in free agency who should help out the run defense quite a bit. Lathan Ransom, a guy they drafted. I'm going to try my best to trust a Buckeye on that one. Nick Scott and Damani Richardson. I mean, those are guys who you would typically expect to be special teamers. Damani Richardson has made some plays. He's flashed on defense. Nick Scott, I think, is just kind of there until Lathan Ransom is ready to start.
Yeah.
But the defense, they're going to have to do a lot of work on the defense next offseason and in the draft, I think.
They made some strides from last year for sure.
Yeah.
And getting Derek Brown back is huge for them. Mm-hmm. But yes, more work needs to be done. And they might, who knows? Like, I think there's somebody that could look to trade for somebody by a trade deadline. They're going to look to see how some of these guys play, how they develop. And by trade deadline, maybe they make a move for somebody. We'll see.
Yeah. We all kind of expected them to go after an inside linebacker after the cuts were made. They did not do that. They brought in a wide receiver from the Chargers. They brought in, I believe, a corner. They signed DJ Dallas, the running back out of Seattle. I mentioned already they brought in Hendon Hooker. So I would expect them to be active still in the coming days. But, that's going to be the roster for the most part, obviously. So that they're going to be led by the offense. And they're really going to be going as far as Bryce Young can take them. And Bryce Young is only going to be able to take them as far as those pass catchers will allow him to. I'm looking at you, Xavier. So,
D. Weezy says O-line and edge should be the targets for next year's draft. O-line for sure. Edge, I don't know.
I think they'll be good at edge. I think
Yeah.
Scourton and Princely are both going to work out very well. DJ Wanham, I think, will probably be moving on. But Pat Jones, I think he can still be a good rotational piece. I'm not saying that they shouldn't add to it, but I think they need to focus more towards the O-line side of that equation and start, getting guys in there to develop. And then, like I said, in free agency, you definitely need to hit the second and third levels of the defense.
Yeah. What up, Zeke? Thanks for coming through, man. Big Red, salute to you. Yes, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. Yes, listen to the Stream Elements bot. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, look, shout out to Bazel for giving out some memberships. All right. Yep. Hope you guys enjoy that. Also, we have Patreon. Okay, that is the preferred method for membership. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. We offer more perks over there. Now, what we offer on the membership side, you get a lot. You get the overtime show. The link is there for the members. The Discord link is also there if you want to sign up for Discord. So just $5 alone will get you access to those things. Same thing over on the Patreon side. We also have a $10 tier that you can get a nice shiny coin. Somebody asked today if we have a new coin, and we might have to discuss that. We'll see. Because this is our old, I would say old, our classic, the
legacy logo,
the legacy logo, and the one logo that we had with the circle. They thought that we had a coin for that, and I was like, Stay tuned. But that's what you get for the $10 tier. We also have a $20 tier for you get the coin in a deck of our Ring Kings cards. All right. So look, lots of perks over there. So check it out. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Also the memberships that we're giving out earlier. If you missed out on it, that's okay. It's only $5. I know you got $5 in your pocket. All right, go sign up. And sign up for the newsletter at LBHTShow.com.
And for those of you already getting the newsletter, yes, go to LBHTShow.com, buy some merch. But in the newsletter, make sure that you're answering the trivia questions or voting in the polls and clicking on the links to our content and the content for other Ravens creators and Panthers and actually other teams as well. There's a
yeah. So, we're making it a point to add all the content creators that you need to be subscribe to for Ravens and Panthers content and other creators, because we got Ferris, his channel on there, his show Good Friends Better Rivals, the channel, and then we got Suge who just went back onto the channel. He's a Steelers fan, so for those people.
If that's what we call them.
Yeah. But Adelia is also on the show. She's a Broncos fan. So, we got a little bit of something for everybody. And we also put some news articles in there. There's a lot in the newsletter. There's a lot in there. So just go in there and sign up for it and thank us later. All right.
Oh, and speaking of, just a little quick trivia for you. Okay. Maryland product Bo Braid, who was cut by the Baltimore Ravens. Do you know where he's playing now?
Giants.
The New York Giants.
They like Maryland players.
They do. They definitely like former Ravens.
And I hope he plays well.
Yeah, we'll see. I was kind of hoping that Jalen Armour Davis would end up in Carolina because they do need some reinforcements there. He actually ended up in Tennessee. They had the number one waiver priority, but Carolina did not even put it in a claim. It was the Eagles, Saints, and Dolphins who put in claims outside of Tennessee. It's one of those situations too. It used to be the Patriots, but it's the kind of the Eagles where you're like, oh, they put in a claim for that guy we cut. Maybe we made a mistake.
Yeah. So look, Jalen Armour Davis obviously had some talent there. It's
they had multiple times he was the smartest DB on the team. So a little brain drain going on there by cutting him. And here we always kind of root for former players wherever they go. And I did want to say about Adam Thielen leaving. Obviously thank you to Adam Thielen for the last couple of years, and hope you fail in all your future endeavors.
Spoken like a true fan.
So that's fine. But I think that pretty much covers the 53-man rosters. We can move right into the court of public opinion, where I think Jose owes somebody an apology.
Wow. I owe somebody an apology. I think you owe somebody an apology. All right, first of all rise. All rise. Court is now in session. Okay. We got to bring the stinger back over here. We can play it over here.
I know, but I gotta find it and then upload it.
Oh my God, you lost it. We paid for that.
I didn't lose it. I just haven't put it on there yet. Classic after the show stuff.
All right. Malik Beasley was found guilty. He appealed it on the last court. He was found guilty on the last court of public opinion. He appealed it. He's back now. Okay, by what?
I said he was found guilty by you.
No. He wasn't found guilty by me. It was by the public. Okay, we're the judges here. We're like moderators. Okay, the jury decides that they found him guilty. Listen, there's some strong evidence to suggest. In fact, I did not vote.
There was some strong conjecture.
But you know what? I remember now. I didn't vote against him because I was looking at Pablo Torre's video on this, and he had a guy on there saying that the things that we were looking at that suggest that he might be point shaving is in fact just how he always plays.
Listen, I don't remember you saying this, but Malik Beasley and his agent essentially said they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. We've got a quote from his agent here. It said, Malik Beasley this is from an ESPN article. Yep. Malik Beasley is no longer a target of the federal gambling investigation conducted in the Eastern District of New York, or by the Eastern District of New York. His attorneys, Steve Haney and Mike Schechter, told ESPN on Friday, potentially reopening free agency for one of the NBA's top shooters. Haney and that guy told ESPN that they had extensive conversations and meetings with the Eastern District of New York and received determination on Beasley not being considered the target after allegations regarding gambling on NBA games and prop bets during the 2023-2024 season. Yeah. Months after this investigation commenced, Malik remains uncharged and is not the target of this investigation, Haney told ESPN. An allegation with no charge, indictment, or conviction should never have the catastrophic consequence this has caused Malik. This has literally been the opposite of the presumption of innocence.
And this is true.
Yeah, can't argue with any of that. But the problem is your client is a world famous athlete, and the teams found out that obviously the police were investigating and nobody wanted to touch him. So there wasn't really a way to kind of keep this from coming out and harming him in free agency talks. The question moving forward is going to be, is his value ultimately being hurt? Because he can sign with anybody. He's free to sign now, and depending on what kind of contract he gets, that'll kind of determine what kind of damages he actually saw from this.
This is very unfortunate because yes, we joked around about it, right? But this is a man who's not good with his money, right? And I can sympathize with that. Okay, but I am not good with my money. Not like on the level of Malik Beasley, not good with his money. Okay, he's a millionaire who can't pay his barber. He's a millionaire that
Sweeney Todd coming after him.
He's a millionaire that stiffs his dentist. Although these dentist bills, my lord, my lord. But I mean, so there was a lot of smoke around this. Okay, there's a lot of things that paint the picture of a man who would be willing to shave some points for some money because he has some debts to pay, right? And to be honest, it doesn't necessarily mean he didn't do any of this stuff. It just means, look, he's not the focus of our investigation. There are bigger fish to fry. Maybe he dabbled in it a little bit. he probably gambled here and there, but we're gonna let that slide and go after some other people, right?
Yeah, or maybe they think they don't have enough to actually convict, whatever it is. But the fact is, he was in line to make a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And, we'll see how it shakes out now. But most teams have, because the owners are not fiscally responsible in sports, most teams have spent all their money.
That's the part I do feel for him, because no matter what his debts were, he wasn't going to be in a position to pay off a lot of that stuff, right? And they say he took out some loans and whatnot, but this next contract could have solved a lot of those issues. And because it was put out there that he was under investigation, that got taken off the table for him. And I don't know what could have been done different. This one of these things where, can we point fingers at anybody? Like the team, I'm sure they spoke to investigators, and at the time the investigators weren't far enough in their investigation to really say, yeah, it's not looking like there's going to, be anything's going to come of this, right? They still weren't sure yet. They had to look into some stuff, and teams got to make moves, right? Yeah. And it's too shaky. This reminds me of Lyle Collins. It's not as bad, although Lyle Collins is a little different in my opinion, because the police said that he wasn't.
A way to say that, we're not looking at him for anything. We literally just want to talk to him, and NFL teams were like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. He went undrafted. He should have been a first round pick.
Well, to be fair, he asked to go undrafted after a certain point. He said if he wasn't drafted by, I believe, like the third round, don't draft him. Yeah.
And I think that's a smart thing to do. If that's what it's going to be, let me just pick my team at least.
Yeah.
But lost millions of dollars. You can't recoup that.
Especially when you turn out to not be as good as people thought you were going to be.
Osmond wants to know what triggered the investigation. So I'm not sure if that was tied to the Jonte Porter incident. I'm not sure, but the thing is, all these sports leagues are I ain't gonna say cracking down. They are watching all these athletes. They're watching, if they're gambling, because sports betting is pretty new. It's always been taboo, and they're trying to make sure this multi-billion-dollar industry thrives with their league, so they can make money off of it. And they don't want any hint of any point shaving, any type of setting up games or anything like that, because fans already feel that way. Some fans already feel that way about their sports, like, oh, it's rigged. And if players are betting on the sport, that's just going to add fuel to the fire. That's going to bring investigators down on it. So they are self-policing like you've never seen before. And they have ways to track, even if these players let their friends gamble for them, they still find out, and they are coming down hard on them. So it could have been a situation where they're looking at Malik Beasley's his transactions. They're looking at the money he owes people. He's hanging around people that are gambling. So, it's a whole network that's looking into these things.
And I do know that there was and I'm not sure if this is what triggered the investigation, but there was a Twitter user who had kind of outed Jonte Porter. He also did the same with Malik Beasley long before the story actually came out. The having debts, particularly all around town, to everybody that you know in large amounts, will absolutely trigger these kind of investigations. Like, it'll trigger people looking into you because finances is one of the easiest pressure points to push, right? If you're somebody who's looking to do nefarious things, right? That's one of the big things that you know is that when you're looking to get a security clearance, they do pretty thorough background checks, and if you have debts, then you're not going to get one.
Right.
And if you have a clearance and you have debts, they will take it from you because they don't want you to be exploited because of your financial situation.
Yep.
I say, the other way to handle that is to give me some more money, but they eat their own. But Malik is he's looking like he's in the clear. We'll see again what kind of contract he gets. Most teams have spent up their money. I'm not sure who even has the cap at this point to make him an offer like he was getting from Detroit. So to be honest, just why don't you head back to LA? Come back to the Lakers, get yourself a ring.
I would say come on over to Brooklyn, but we're not trying to win this year.
Sure not.
We sure not. We're sure not. Sure aren't. Yeah, go ahead. Go to LA.
That's right.
Luka's in shape. All right.
Yeah,
I can't even call him Fat Luka anymore.
Skinny Luka
well, we'll
season.
see. Well, he got in
Luka
shape a little early. You know, he still had a lot of time left in the summer.
That was to get used to it. Now he's rolling.
I hope so. I hope so. All right, so that's it. Oh, we have submitted questions. We got submitted questions.
I still can't stop laughing. I saw a tweet. It was a picture of Luka at a restaurant. Somebody was like, "Oh man, he's looking thin. He's looking in shape." And the first comment was, "There ain't a crumb on that plate." you don't know what he ate. Whatever. Luka's in shape. Luka's angry. Luka's about to win a title.
I hope so.
All right. Listen, I gave you all the rules at the beginning of the show, but I'm a nice guy, as you know. I'm very reasonable, as you know. And since I didn't put this out there prior to the show, I will ask both of these questions from the people who are stretching the rules.
There's one of them, Jay.
Just know, one of them's Jay. But moving forward, we will not accept multiple questions in single posts on the community tab. All right, it's called posts now.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
First up, this one is for Jose.
Okay.
With EDC breaking the bank for yet another defensive player, 2023 Roquan, 2024 Matabike, 2025 Kyle Hamilton. Which defensive player is in line for the next big payday?
You didn't say Marcus Williams in there.
Well, that's okay.
Here's another one, right? Didn't he get like 70 million?
Yeah, but he's gone now.
Yeah, he's gone. The next Travis Jones. If Travis Jones plays the way that they all clearly feel about him, I don't see how they let him walk. All right. Especially if the defense plays really well. The defense plays really well. There's different scenarios here. If the defense plays terrible, who knows what will happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what happened, because they spent a lot of money on that side. I don't see that being an option. But the defense plays really well. In their minds, they could justify giving him the money. They might have to make some other moves to clear up the money to keep him. But I think they'll want to keep that defense intact for as long as possible because they invested so much into it. If they win a Super Bowl, they're definitely paying the money to him, because they're like, see, told you we need to pay anything on offense, right? It's cool. It's good, right? Give all the money to the defense.
I'll tell you, the answer is the next player who's going to get paid is Nate Wiggins, because next year.
No, he said they said D-line, right? Isn't the question D-line?
Defensive player.
Oh, defensive player. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The next one to get paid is Nate Wiggins, because they are going to start shedding veterans next offseason in order to accommodate Lamar's contract. And so it's going to be a couple years before they pay anybody on defense. And
you think Alexander will get paid?
What did he sign, a 2-year deal?
I don't know.
I don't think they're going to pay him a huge contract. No. Okay. He's older. He'll be over 30 by the time his deal is done, I believe. So I think the next big contract is going to be Nate Wiggins.
So Travis Jones walks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, this is the other Ravens question. They're going down a similar path with Kyle Hamilton getting his contract. This is from Jay. Do you see the organization paying Owe if he has the same miracle season? Very disrespectful to call it a miracle season. It wasn't even that great a year. If he has the same miracle season from last year instead of rightfully paying for Linderbaum.
They got some tough decisions to make here, right? I feel like they should keep Owe, right? Like, why invest in these young edge rushers if you're not going to keep them around? He played well last year. I expect him to play well this year. You drafted Mike Green. That can be your edge rushing tandem right there. But listen, this is what happens when you kick out all the money on the defensive side. Is you got to make some tough decisions. But not signing Linderbaum is not an option.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with Ronnie Stanley. Everybody last year was saying, "Oh, you got to cut him. Oh, you got to let him go. You can't pay him that money." How?
Right.
Like, did you not see them? Did you not see our O-line? Do you not see the organization that we have? How in the world are you not going to bring back Ronnie Stanley? There was no option to not sign him. It's the same thing with Tyler Linderbaum. There is no option there. He is getting paid. Right.
Yeah, and whether or not they pay Owe is going to come down to how Ojabo and Green and Tavius Robinson and later on Adisa Isaac play. If those guys show that they can handle it, then Owe will be out the door along with Van Noy. Let's see from Jay as well, with the trade of Adam Thielen, does this put more pressure on Bryce, and do you think he can handle it? I don't think it puts more pressure on him, but even if it did, I think that he's shown that he can handle the pressure after he came back from the catastrophic beginning to his career and turned himself around, which is not something that you regularly see on that level. So I'm not worried about Bryce Young and any kind of pressure. I don't think that the Adam Thielen trade is going to ultimately be a huge deal for this offense. I would expect that Hunter Renfrow will come back to the practice squad, and if they are missing that kind of that slot presence and that reliable third down guy, that he'll start making appearances in the active roster. Outside of that, I think you're going to be seeing him leaning on Teteroa. I think he's going to lean a lot on Jatavian Sanders. And then we'll see what we get from Leggett and Jalen Coker.
I think, and I think that's exactly why they traded him. They want Bryce to lean on the young wide receivers, build a rapport with those wide receivers, especially Teteroa and McMillan, and look for him in those crunch time situations. But because Teteroa is a rookie, there's going to be a little, there's going to be a little period where he doesn't quite make the right routes, run the right routes, or be in the right situation. Like, it's those moves that come with time, right? Where there are times where you're going to miss Adam Thielen, where it's like, man, it's third and long. We need somebody to get open here. And Adam Thielen knows how to get open and get that first down, where Teteroa may not quite be there yet, right? Mm-hmm. But that's all part of growing. That's all part of being a young team, and I don't think that's something that this team needs to worry about right now. Build with your young wide receiver core, build a rapport with them, and when you're really competing, they'll be ready to make those plays.
Okay, and you got the second question here from D Weezy. This one regarding the Panthers with the Jags and Panthers facing off Week 1. How many times does Teteroa McMillan burn Travis Hunter in that first game? I'm going to say that he burns him twice. Now, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to score 2 touchdowns or have 2 huge gains. You can burn the corner and not get the ball, right? You can burn the corner and not, you can have an inaccurate pass or something like that. Like, he burned Derek Stingley, one of the top corners in the league, and the ball was nowhere near him, right? The Xavier Leggett burned, I forget who it was that was guarding him, and Bryce threw it 15 yards short, essentially. But I'm going to say that he gets him and gets him bad twice.
I'm going to say 0. I don't think he lines up that much at corner in his first game. I don't. And a couple times that he lines up at corner, I don't know if he'll be lined up against Teteroa.
I'll tell you what. If I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, and I'm playing the Carolina Panthers, who just traded Adam Thielen, and this man who they drafted second overall is not lined up on Teteroa McMillan, I want a refund already.
They don't care.
I know they don't care. But by the way, I was looking at draft history the other day, and we all know about the terrible, terrible class that Jacksonville had, where they drafted C.J. Henderson and then Caleb Von Chason in the first round, and then came back and got Laviska Shenault in the second round. But I didn't realize just how bad it was, because they passed on and I mean, look, Carolina missed on these guys too. A lot of people did, but they had 2 first-round picks, and neither one of them were CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson. That would hurt so much more if I were a Jaguar fan, because you got nothing. Like, they gave up on their top pick 8 games into his career.
Laviska Shenault got drafted before them?
No, he went in the second round. But they had the 2 first-round picks, Chason and CJ Henderson, and they passed on CeeDee Lamb and they passed on Justin Jefferson with those picks.
Listen, now I know a lot of people were high on Chason at the time. I remember those conversations, and these two right here, these two were saying, look, for the Ravens, we need to be looking at CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy. In fact, this is back when we were still writing articles. It was on the site. It might be on the site somewhere, but I had a scenario where we traded up because we had 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks. I said we could package our first-round pick, a second, and a third to move up and get Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb or Jefferson, whoever falls up, a few spots. We can trade up and get one of those guys, and we will still have a second and third round pick. So essentially, it'd be like giving up nothing to get one of those guys. What did we do? We moved back. We traded back. How about 4 third round picks, B? Yeah, that was a terrible draft for them. But I know a lot of people thought that they killed that draft.
Yeah. They didn't. But it wasn't Justin Jefferson at that point, because he wasn't really on people's radar. It was Henry Ruggs, who is since gone to prison.
Oh, Ruggs, yeah.
He was the first one of those guys drafted.
Yeah,
because fast and Raiders. But yeah, so it was bad. I'm sad about Carolina missing out on those guys, right? But they got Derek Brown at least. Y'all got CJ Henderson.
Yeah,
it's not good.
And at the time, that was one of those picks where like, he could have done better, but no, they made the right move there.
Well, it's funny because I wanted them to take Isaiah Simmons and then draft Matabike in the next round. But what they did was they took Derek Brown and they drafted Jeremy Chin. Yeah, and then they ran Jeremy Chin off.
Did Jeremy Chin work out better than Isaiah Simmons? Because I feel like Isaiah Simmons didn't. Yeah.
Isaiah Simmons he's not a thing.
No.
He's just a name.
No, the Panthers. That's one of those times where they are right, we were wrong.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. One of the very few times recently.
Yeah.
That is about it for tonight. We are getting ready to head over to the overtime show. But before we go, obviously we want to tell you, hey, if you are enjoying the show, you want more content, head over to patreon.com/LBHT Show. You can sign up for the Patreon for as little as $5 a month. That'll get you into the overtime show that we do every week following the live show. That'll get you into the Discord. That'll get you, if you would like, into the online college football dynasty that we have running. That'll get you into the book club. If you're into reading, please be into reading. And anything else that we decide to do for just $5. Also, head over to LBHTShow.com, sign up for the newsletter, check out the merch. When you start getting the newsletter, interact with the newsletter. Answer the poll, answer the trivia questions, click on the links. You'll find a lot of great content, not just from us, but from Coach Evans, from Hendo and the Rogue Pod, from Good Friends, Better Rivals, and just a lot of good Ravens content, but a lot of good NFL content in general.
And Panthers. I put Rashad and Dave from Panther Nation podcast there in there. Aaron Duncan from Unnecessary Bluntness. Mm-hmm. Right, those are 2 big time Panthers content creators, so go check out their work as well. Also, I want to give a shout out to Adelia, our newest producer.
Yes.
All right. She's not in the credits yet. We're working on that.
We're going to take care of that very soon.
Yes. So we want to give a shout out so y'all know. I know you guys feel the professionalism, okay, that's happened over the last 2 weeks.
Into the show.
Okay, we didn't wake up and say, you know what, let's get more professional. That didn't happen.
No, not at all.
Appreciate you, Adelia. Thank you for joining the team, and it's off to a great start. All right, so that is it. Patreon members, get ready. The overtime. Patreon members and channel members, get ready. The overtime show is getting ready to start. Everybody else, have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.